Welcome to our online class of social science. Today we are discussing our first chapter of class 10th, that is power sharing. As in the name of the chapter only, it is clear that it is a combination of two words, power and sharing. Meanwhile, when power is shared, so when we discuss about this terminology power sharing, we simply say that division of power between different stages of the government, different organs of the government, and among different political parties and social groups. In power sharing, power does not remain in single hand, it is decentralized among various organs and agencies. So, when we start this chapter power sharing, first of all we have to understand that why power sharing is important. Power sharing is very important in a democratic nation because if there is no power sharing, power will remain in single hand and that would be considered as a dictatorship or monarchy. If power is shared among different levels, different organs, it is considered decentralization. It is the best feature of our democratic government. So let's go to content of this chapter. We will discuss definition of the power sharing, example of power sharing in Belgium, example of Sri Lanka nation where power is not shared, which resulted majoritarianism in Sri Lanka, and how accommodation took place in Belgium nation, and the forms of power sharing will be discussed in this chapter. Coming over to our first slide, this is about the definition of the power sharing. In simple words, we may say when all power does not rest with one organ of the state, meanwhile, it is not in one hand or in the hands of group of people. It is the sharing of power among legislature, judiciary, executive. Even along with these horizontal sharing of the powers, power has to be shared vertically also in the different levels, center, state, local. So over to our next slide. Here we have an example of Belgium nation. Belgium is a country in Europe. When we see ethnic composition of this nation, we find that in Belgium country 50% population that lives in Flemish region, and people of this area they speak Dutch language. Meanwhile, in country Dutch people are in majority. They are 59% or around 60 you may say of total population, whereas 40% people, those who are living in Wallonia region, they speak French. Remaining 1% are Dutch and others. So here my point is that in country majority is of Dutch speaking people and French people, they are in minority. Whereas in the capital city Brussels is the capital of Belgium. In Brussels city, this power sharing is totally different. In the capital city of Brussels, 80% people they speak French. Meanwhile, you can see this ethnic composition in the next slide. Here it is the map of Belgium, that 80% they speak French, means those who were in minority in the country, they are in majority in only capital city. For example, if we take an example of India, that if one community is in minority in the whole nation, that same community is in majority in the capital of our nation. So it happened in Belgium also, that in Brussels city, French speaking people they were in majority, they were 80%. They were relatively rich and powerful and had most of the benefits. Most of the benefits were with them. So in capital city only French were enjoying power, and in the entire nation Dutch, those who were in majority, they were deprived from their benefits. Ultimately, it created problem in that nation, and many amendments were done in the constitution in that nation to resolve this problem. We will discuss in the further slides. Now let's see another example of Sri Lanka nation. In Sri Lanka, here you can see that three major ethnic groups are living. First is Sinhala speakers. They are 74% of the total population, Sinhalas. That is the major social group of the country. Whereas Tamil speakers are 18%, including Indian Tamils. Means in that country there are two types of Tamils. One is Sri Lankan Tamils, those who are 13%, and remaining 5 are Indian Tamils. And others are different religions. Here you can see map of Sri Lanka, that Sri Lanka is situated in the southeastern part of northern hemisphere near Tamil Nadu region. Here you can see in the Bay of Bengal. Now try to understand this terminology, majoritarianism. You have to note down these points, that majoritarianism refers to that belief in which a majority community is ruling the nation. Here we have an example of Sri Lanka, that in Sri Lanka, Sinhalas, those who are 74% of the total population, they are ruling the nation. They have most of the powers in their hands. That is considered as a majoritarianism. So how this majoritarianism is established, we will see in the next slide. Let's see what Sri Lankan government did for the majoritarianism in that nation. They took some steps. First step, that Sinhala community, or this majority dominance community, that was governing, that was having dominions over the government, control over the government. Second, in 1956, an act was passed which recognized Sinhala as official language. Official language, one language was given preference in that nation, resulted conflict between languages in that country. Third, government favored Sinhalas in jobs and other opportunities, and very less rights were given to Tamils. But in Belgium, complete opposite steps were taken by the government. We discussed that in Belgium also ethnic composition was different. 59% people, they were Dutch, 40% were French, whereas French, they had most of the power in capital city Brussels. But Belgium government took major steps to resolve this problem from 1970 to 1993. In 23 years, people of that country, they did 4 amendments in the constitution, and in these 4 amendments they did major changes which resulted accommodation, brotherhood, fraternity, you may say, in that nation. So these steps are: first, that constitution prescribed that the number of Dutch and French speaking ministers shall be equal in the central government. Although some special powers were given to the central government, but powers were given to state ministers also. So equal number of representative is given to Dutch and French, which resulted equality as well as solution of the problem in that nation. Language problem was solved. Second, many powers of central governments have been given to state governments of the 2 regions of the country. As we discussed in the beginning of the chapter, that Flemish region was the region where Dutch majority people were living, and Wallonia region was the region where French speaking people were living. So here we can say that power of the central government that was given to state governments of these 2 regions too, and it was decided that state governments are not subordinate to the center. Like our country, means our state governments are given separate jurisdictions. State governments are having their separate source of income. It is considered as a second level. So in that country, Belgium also, this same problem was solved. Third, Brussels, which was the capital of the country, has a separate government which was considered as a community government. In community government, equal representation of French and Dutch speaking people that was given. Even the French speaking people accepted equal representation in Brussels because the Dutch speaking had accepted equal representation in the central government. Meanwhile, both these ethnic groups agreed to have equal representation in country as well as in the country as well as in the capital city. So this solved their problem. Here you can say, because of this best model of the government, Brussels, it was chosen as the headquarter of European Union too. European Union accepted that this government is the best one. That's why Brussels was chosen as the headquarter of European Union. That headquarter is in Belgium now. So apart from that, central and the state government means this community government was elected by the people belonging to one religion community. For example, Dutch, French, German, no matter where they live, this government has the power regarding cultural, educational and language related issues of that area. As we have third level of the government, which is considered as a local level of government, in Belgium also this community government was accepted. Meanwhile, people, those who are living in that area, if they speak language, any language, so they can choose their representative in that area. For example, if they are Dutch, they can have their Dutch representative. If they are German, they can have German representative. So this issue resolved the problem of the nation. Coming over to next slide, here you can see that forms of power sharing. This is very important question in this chapter, that what are the forms of power sharing. So first of all, we have to understand that power is shared in different ways. It is divided in different methods. So the first way of power sharing, that is power is shared among different organs of the government. So organs, first of all we have to understand that what are the organs of the government. First organ is legislature. Legislature, we can take an example of our nation, that legislature is making laws for the country. Second one is executive. Meanwhile, laws are implemented by the executive members, whether they are permanent executives, meanwhile those who are elected by the boards, or political executive, those who are elected by the people for a number of fixed tenure of 5 or 6 years. The third one is judiciary. Meanwhile, in case of these laws are implemented by the judiciary, and in case of violation of laws, punishment is given to the victims. So this sharing of power among different organs of the government is considered horizontal distribution of power. Horizontal refers to a parallel distribution because all levels are given equal powers. They are considered as an independent agencies, and this separation ensures that none of the organ can exercise unlimited power in the nation. Each organ checks other, so it maintains a balance of power in the nation. In democracy, this is one of the best key feature, that power is decentralized among these three different organs, especially legislature, executive and judiciary. This arrangement is also called a system of checks and balances. Second form of power sharing is that power is shared among different levels of the government. First we discussed about the organs. Now level. Level means from top level to bottom level. So when we discuss from top to bottom, we can say it is vertical. It is vertical, that first we have one level, that is the center level of the for the entire nation. Second, if we take an example of our country, that is the state level for particular state. And the third one is for the local level. Local level refers to our Panchayati Raj system. So this is called vertical sharing of power, and this is also known as a federal government. In India, we adopted this form of power sharing. The government in the center is having separate jurisdiction, separate powers. Their subjects are in union list. Whereas in states we have state ministers, chief minister, governor. They are having state legislative assemblies and councils. Separate power, separate source of income. And local level of the government, in local level of the government also we have Panchayati Raj system. In panchayats we have Jila Parishad, Block Smiti, then Gram Panchayats, etc. So this system is not followed in all the countries. Only few countries adopted this system. Here this federal system is of two types. One is holding together, as we have in our country, that one central government is holding all the provincial states, and the another one is coming together government, just like in America we have coming together government. So this is also a form of power sharing, that government has given powers to center as well as states as well as local level of the government. So this is very important and required in a democratic nation. The constitution clearly lays down the powers of different levels of the government. In constitution, separate jurisdiction and separate powers are written, mentioned for each other. Although there are some nations in which this power sharing is not in federal way, they have a unitary form of the government, means power is only in center. We can see the example of Sri Lanka, that in Sri Lanka power is not shared among different organs too. Even there are some nations where they are not adopting this method of power sharing, this federal government too, still they have dictatorship. So this is the second form. And the third form of power sharing is power is shared among different social groups. Social groups, here it refers religious and linguistic groups. For example, we discussed about the community government in Belgium, that in Belgium Dutch, French and German people, they are given community government, that they can form community government at lower level where they are in majority, so that freedom is given to the people, so that their representation can be there in the parliaments. So in our country also, on the basis of religion and language, power is shared. You might have seen that in our country, although India is a secular nation, we have not adopted any religion as a national religion. We have not adopted single language as a national language. We have 22 languages which are considered as the languages for the people, and we don't have any national religion. We have unity in diversity. So on the basis of language, our constituent assembly makers, they divided the areas, that people, those who spoke Gujarati, they were considered in separate states, so that there can be more development of that area. Speak Marathi, Maharashtra region, those who spoke Bengali in Bengal region. Meanwhile, all religions are given equal representations. All people are given equal benefits in the nation. So power is shared. Even SC and ST community people, they are given representation and reservation in our Indian Parliament too. So we can see the example of power sharing in our local government also, that 1/3 seats are reserved for the women. Even this demand of power sharing for the women is for parliament also. But people of the country, they are giving opportunities to all the sections of the society. So this method, which is used to give minority community also a fair deal and sharing of the power, this is a way of accommodating social diversity in the nation. And the fourth one is power is shared among different political parties. Political parties means a group of people who come together and form their political parties, form the government, contest the elections. So in India we have 7 national political parties and many recognized regional parties. Regional parties are you can see their number is in thousands. So we have multi-party system in our country. So you can see that there are some countries like China, Chinese Communist Party is having power. Other parties has to take permission from Chinese Communist Party. In that country is mainly ruled by Chinese Communist Party. Some pressure groups and movements. Pressure groups and movements, here it refers that in democracy, pressure groups means a group of people, those who pressurize the government for their demands by the way of demonstrations, by the way of campaigns. So they also give their suggestions time to time. You might have heard that there are different social organizations. So these social organizations are also influencing and pressurizing the government. If their demands are fruitful for the people, government is accepting those demands. And the movements here it refers that is also influenced in the power sharing, whether it is for the Narmada Bachao movement or others. So people, they take participation in the country where there is power sharing. In the country we find that interest groups such as traders, businessmen, industrialists, farmers, industrial workers, they are also given opportunities to come in the government. They also will have to share governmental powers, either through their participation in government committees or bringing influence on the decision making process. So in this way power is shared in the political parties, pressure groups and movements. Here we can have discussion of some of the important points, important terminologies of this chapter. First one is this prudential region of power sharing. Prudential is based on the prudence or the careful calculation of gains and losses. Most of the time this terminology it comes in exams, that prudential refers to the careful calculation of gains and losses. These decisions are usually contrasted with those decisions based purely on moral considerations. So in these prudential regions it is discussed that decisions taken by the government are beneficial or not. One another terminology that came in this chapter, that is check and balance. We discussed in the power sharing that there is a check and balance when power is shared among different organs of the government. So it is a system in which each organ of the government checks the other, means whether it is judiciary, legislature or executive, which result in the balance of power among various institutions. So that is called check and balance. Horizontal distribution of power we discussed in this chapter. Horizontal refers to when power is shared among different organs such as legislature, executive and judiciary. So you can write down these points. And the vertical division of power refers to division of power between higher and lower levels of the government. It may be between two or more than two. In India, we can take an example of central government, state government and local government. So these are some of the important points of this chapter. I hope you understood this power sharing, because in word chapter's name only, sharing of power, it is clear that when power is shared among organs, among levels, political parties, among pressure groups, movements and social groups. So note down these points in your notebook and learn this chapter. I hope you will understand by listening this video. Thank you very much. Once again, I'm thankful to you.